Beautiful. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to mute in Discord, and I'll be live on Twitch. Link will be dropped into the general chat. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're in. It's hot. It's heavy. It is live games with Mdga and Mdga. You're up and running. No add-on required. We're just fucking built different. Blizzard loves us, and they don't love you. So believe it when we tell you that we're going to be getting all the Christmas gifts, and you're not. A piece of coal. I know it's heartbreaking. Just about ready. Oh, please do it for me. I'll be happily able to mooch off you. I am currently broadcasting, and a few people are getting links and updates. Sorry, it's try to be as prepared as I could. Alright. I am going to be in the Discord. If you guys would appreciate commentary, please let me know. And pop in the chat with the predictions. Who's going to win? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the mic is finally on. Uriel dropping to 50 and popping back up to 100 as Angry Pickles sustains that health bar. Dragon Fu in the mix, getting ham blasted. No focus targets are quite obvious yet, but Dean is in the back line, absolutely laying pipe from the artillery center. The Shadow Priest is free casting, and no one seems to give a damn. As Mom Hips, the Moo Cow, is taking a lot of punishment. The Fear comes out, and one trinket goes off, 2, 3, and Searing Glare comes in. The stun on Mom Hips might push him to bubble. It's going to be fine. We get the War Stomp off on Dean before the Master Spell can come across, and the blind comes out. The bubble is down. Mom Hips is at 100% energy, and Dean is now back to free casting if Uriel ever lets up the pressure. Now we're looking at Envision TVs locked up in a stun and might be able to keep Dean alive as Dispersion saves the day mixed with Desperate Prayer. That does leave Dean exposed, and his fucking cooldowns might be gone. Void Torrent comes out and is not interrupted. The Fat Stun and Cling Totem allow for a maximum cleave here. Dragon Fu making something happen as Angry Pickles pops into the bubble in order to sustain all his casting, trying to make sure his double melee composition are healthy. Dean getting double focused, and there is a little bit of love between the Spirit Link Totem between Dean and Infusion. The damage is now flip-flopping. Dean is high, and the double melee composition is low. Dragon Fu, healthy. Now farming aura by walking RP style in the middle of the fight, doing nothing. Dashes away. Controls his deep breath across the battlefield, hitting all 3 players. Angry Pickles, can they react? Mom Hips pops up to 10, but it's not all HP to work with. 10 becomes 30. Dean dropping low. Infusion's doing his best to use Ancestral and Farseer Ancestors to keep things alive and healthy. The instant casts are fierce. Dean double teamed again. These healers are carrying, but does Angry Pickles lose it? Oh, 10 becomes 0. Dragon Fu finds the opening and disintegrates that Paladin's health bar. No bubble available. No bubble available. Next match is about to come underway. If anyone wants to pop into the chat box, I can hit affiliate faster if you shoot predictions into the chat box. Mom Hips with Dragon Fu and Angry Pickles going up against Dean, Infusions, and Uriel. Now, fun fact about Solo Shuffle is both healers will be facing off against each other the entire time. So it might be worth your time to investigate how you can be, as a healer in your Solo Shuffles, upping your game and griefing the shit out of the enemy healer. You're going to be fighting them for 6 rounds straight. So get your CC game on point. Dean looking okay. Disintegrate comes through. 50 turns into 40. Nope, we're jumping up to 70, 80, 100. Angry Pickles coming over to grief Infusions. Repentance comes out, and Infusions playing from behind the pillar. I believe he gets the grounding totem off. Uriel is dropping low. 50 turns to 30, turns to 70. Dragon Fu at 50. Mom Hips trying to find some value here. Infusion's locked up in a stun with no answer. Coming out of the stun, he's looking to toss out a couple Riptides and sustain that health bar. Mom Hips trying to heal himself, forgetting there's actually a healer on his team, and sits in the frog. No trinket available. Dragon Fu feeling the pressure. Freedom's away. 10 could snap down to 0. Another fat shield comes through as Angry Pickles is desperate to get that health bar back up again. Dragon Fu just did dancing around, honestly, as 10 turns into 50. Fat stun onto Infusions. Dean also getting stunned. There's a lot of people vulnerable here. Dean is low. Fades out. Can't even see him on my screen as the DK might get focused down. DK's not the tankiest thing ever, even through Death Strike. As Dragon Fu just gets slapped into the dirt. Tournament with that prediction, I think you are going to win. We have no idea whether or not you're going to be getting a DoorDash gift card. I don't know if a week from now, a month from now, depending on how many people that we get into the chat and how many followers we pick up, but we might start doing giveaways.
Coming out the gate hot and heavy. Infusion's trying to keep Uriel alive. Mom Hips dropping the flash and blind. Infusion's getting a lot of control with the Cling Totem. What up to all 6 viewers in the chat? Dragon Food dropping a 10. Shoots up to 100. I don't know what that was. It was hacks. Angry Pickles lay on hands probably. Oh, he actually saved it. No lay on hands unless I'm actually tripping. Infusions is dashing away in doggo form. But like your golden retriever, he always comes back. Sitting in the Repentance now. His teammates are wide open to burst damage. Dean and Dragon getting a fat stun off. Infusion still in the stun lock. Bubble from Mom Hips. It's about to drop down, leaving him open to more kill pressure. Dragon Food getting double meleeed. Not pleasant. Gets the sleep off, but the DK ain't sleepy. Dragon Food trying to get some assistance from Pickles. Pickles casting instant, locking in the double instant cast. Holy lights. I'm not sure what is happening to Pickles. Pickles didn't even use sacrifice in that moment, I believe. But a lot of damage just got split. Just an absurd amount of sustain from these healers. 1 healer, 2 health bars. Pickles is locked up. But it might be Mom Hips is the one that falls even with his healer active. Unlikely. Silence on Pickles. Leaves Dragon Fu and Dean open. Dragon Fu makes the expert decision to use Rescue for that fat shield and reposition into the Cling Totem. Is unfortunate. Pickles is trying to break free. And Dragon Fu goes down neglected. GCD by GCD. That was a 1 GCD winner loss. And Pickles decided to jump onto the ram and hop skippity away from the Cling Totem. Up to 8 viewers in the chat. Please quickly, 15 seconds to drop a prediction in the chat. Who's going to win? We have Mom, Hips, Dean, and Angry Pickles as the double pal and Shadow Priest. We have a more mixed up group for Infusions with Uriel and Dragon Fu on the DK and the Evoker. Uriel coming out hot and heavy, gets the double grip. Unfortunately, there's a split target here. Oh, the Cling Totem is clutch. Uriel being able to get his damage off, but luckily there's a blind from Mom Hips that denies the tempo. Pickles dropping a 10. Dean now might get neglected. Pickles doesn't. We have good reactions from all healers here. Pickles locked up in a Hex. Breaks free. Dragon Fu breaks the crowd control. And Angry Pickles is back on the field, ready to heal again. Mom Hips singling out Dragon Fu from behind the pillar, and Infusions gets the line of sight back. Ancestral Swiftness and a Healing Wave drives that health bar back up to 100%. Angry Pickles hiding around the corner. Dragon Fu dropping the triple stun. Planting his feet, hovering around like a warship. Dean and Mom Hips. Pickles playing with the line of sight in a very dangerous way. Pickles locked up behind a pillar. Dragon Fu playing with his food. Uriel might drop down. Infusions is actually active on the field, but Uriel's health bar does not want to go up. Dean takes a huge clap, dropping from 50 to 20. Good fear. Breaks early. How are we lining this up? Now all 6 contestants have had a chance to rotate around. We have reports that a player is disconnected. Angry Pickles screaming for help. Dean dropping low. DK all over his cheeks. Mom Hips is low. Does Pickles have an answer? There are no defensives left. Only wings and a prayer. Lay on hands from Mom Hips might save him here. The health bar unfortunately folds, but I believe Uriel's the one that died there. Most rounds won goes to infusions. Healing done goes to infusions, and Pickles seems to be the underperformer. Unfortunately, Pickles only lost 5 of the 6 rounds, making him the bottom performing healer. Now, it's not to say that he didn't play with Spirit. Uriel's damage here was impressive, and though it was mostly cleave, I believe that there was still a lot of kill pressure that should be respected. There's a lot to say about the different playstyles out there in the game right now, but what's really important to take away is if you're playing a hunter, you're going to be giving up your survivability in exchange for how you affect health bars in combat. You see hunters around the marksmanship kind of builds that they like. They prefer it because you can take someone's health bar and chop off 40%. And that's not nothing compared to some rot builds. Some rot builds just have to wait all day.
Work complete.
Demons in the twisting nether. The Mdga was the only home we knew. Now, for the first time in ages, we can walk beneath a sky not befouled by the Legion's madness, and feel the earth under our hooves again. But we must not grow complacent. One war ends, the next begins. Such is the life of a soldier.
Stand by, ladies and gentlemen, as we're getting the groups organized for round 2.
All right. The ray tracing is on. All right, everybody. If you're active in the chat and you're just spectating this round on Warcaster Mike at twitch.tv, please drop your predictions into the chat box. More chatter means a faster affiliate. I'm going to go ahead and mute it up in Discord, and I'll be yapping over Twitch. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Kuma being on the DK, playing Frost, digital rolls,
Coming out hot and heavy as a healer and is immediately employing master strategies here. In order for one healer to grief the other, that is the win condition. Like previously mentioned in the last round. Every healer will face off against each other. X Beyond getting massively focused. OTF making Disc Priest look very easy to play. Playing Oracle as well. Rotating through her special spells. SB Shady dropping low, and Druzak might get snapped from 10 to 0, but pops back up to 50. SB Shady looking like the kill target now as Druzak continues to get chased down a little bit, but finally the Ritalin runs out. Both the melee DPS break away. SB Shady back up to 100%. Digital Rolls making this look like a game. That is a game. I can't think of anything. Unfortunately, SP Shady drops low and can't be recovered. Words hard. Mom hips with the 6-0 prediction. Terman says yellow. Druzak. Voting for Druzak. Gotta be your own cheerleader. Legendary. Alright. We have Double Priest and Druzak. The DK is up in his grill. Big focus onto OTF. The Priest healer is getting shut down hard. The cleave is insane. This is a DK's fucking dream, but OTF gets absolutely clobbered. Clip that, chat. I don't know if you guys know how to clip stuff, but in the bottom right of the window, if you mouse over, there's a snap, movie snapper or movie clapper, whatever you want to call it. It's a clip button. That was double DPS, Frost DK, all cooldowns into a priest. Okay, let me get close enough to the microphone so you guys can hear this. A priest through both DRs gets snapped like a Kit Kat. Doesn't happen. That never happens. Never happens. Priest is like a cloth tank. Never happens. OTF coming out the gate with Druzak and Kuma Bean. X Beyond gripping OTF. I think we got blood in the water and OTF becomes the kill target right away. X Beyond takes a lot of damage from the rapid fire, but OTF is struggling to cut through the silence. And whoa, 10% jumps up to 100, but I believe Kuma Bean was a sacrifice, and there was a void shift on the field. Holy moly. SB Shady snatches the health bar. Kuma Bean back to 100. Digital Rolls keeping the health bars up nice and tidy, but SB Shady slips into the dispersion to block off the amount of damage coming from rapid fire. Druzak out for blood. Trying to find value here. Trying to escape X Beyond. X Beyond, though, might not get sustained, but Digital Rolls is trying his best to keep pumping Vivifies and renewing Mists. The snap healing from the Monk is intense. Ultimate Penitence is raining from the sky. X Beyond might be the kill target here still as Druzak and Kuma Bean. Somehow, Druzak is in melee range, which is very strange. The cross-map Song of Chi-Ji locks up OTF. Will anything actually happen off this? Does Druzak have damage? X Beyond and Kuma Bean. Ooh. Something disgusting on my screen just happened. I believe SP Shady knocked Kuma Bean. Up to 11 viewers in the chat. Please pop a message for predictions on this next one. 15 seconds. Who is going to be the kill target? Who's going to be the first one to die? Predict first to die in this upcoming match. Massive damage is just positively firing off in every direction. Where is this kind of solo shuffle when I'm playing? Priest to be dead. Which priest? OTF and SP Shady hiding in the backline. Digital Rolls coming up with the double stun. Song of Chi-Ji does not DR up against the stun with X Beyond going absolutely hand blast with the slappy hands. OTF is just not having any fun today. Druzak getting melted. X Beyond in the same boat. Druzak dancing around, finally breaks free. SB Shady is focusing target, but Druzak breaks his pace and tempo. OTF still getting kind of fucked on. It's not the prettiest thing. X Beyond breaks to a different target. OTF gets a full cast off. Druzak's target is a mystery. X Beyond is not able to focus on the same target as Druzak, but as we saw previously, double DPS into the Priest might be the best play. OTF is now playing from behind the pillar. SB Shady and Kumabin trying to make something happen. The silence goes on to digital rolls, but is there really a need for healing? Druzak, of course, playing Hunter, takes triple damage from melee. Don't look that up. Don't fact check that. It's just Hunter lore. Crazy amounts of callouts happening in the Discord. The health share. SB Shady would troll so hard right now if he shared right back. Kumabin looking desperate for heals, and OTF gets the perfect penitence off that sustains his health bar. Druzak and X Beyond having the tables turned on them. One shield goes to X Beyond, but Druzak unfortunately might be the kill target here. But 30 turns into 70. Massive fear comes out. Digital rolls now looking at a blank screen. The silence to follow up. Is there anything that's going to happen off this? Druzak gets gripped. That's what happens off this. X Beyond getting roasted by SB Shady. Being shared scary PNGs of Five Nights at Freddy's. But Druzak might be the one that goes down, and Digital Rolls just can't keep up. Double silence. SB Shady, X Beyond. Anytime SB Shady's locked, partnering up with a DK, it's always on the field. Digital rolls with Kumabin and Druzak. Druzak in stealth with the opener, trying to find a nice target to aim shot. It's going straight into some strange misfire. SP Shady slips into the dispersion to respond. The grips come out. The silence on the digital rolls, and it's just fucking over. And it's just over. Our boy Kumabin just gets absolutely ham blasted. He logged into World of Warcraft, and he thought for a second that he was logged in to play. No, he logged in to die. This is what we call the assisted logout, because after getting roasted like that, I'd be done playing. Kumabin and X Beyond with OTF on the other field, on the other... SB Shady, digital rolls, and Druzak coming out. Druzak looking for his opener, as is tradition. No predictive death and decays. Just a lovely dance in the back line. Gets gripped in. 10 seconds left on his True Sight aura. This time X Beyond and Kumabin teaming up, the double DK Darkness Brothers. SB Shady might look to be the kill target here, but X Beyond is walking away. He's taking a hike somewhere behind the pillar, and he comes back. SB Shady now being the kill target, and Kumabin, Jesus Christ, Kumabin, drink some milk! Void Shift from OTF saves the day. Get this man a 1-up. Kumabin finally stable again. Druzak's damage must be insane. SB Shady does not fuck around. OTF is trying his best to keep the health bars floating, and I think the burst might be done. SB Shady might get gripped from around the corner, but these DKs are not communicating. They're using telepathy and sheer Zug to try and beat out this match. Digital rolls, finally getting double teamed. Is this going to be the mirror? Does OTF not have to share this fate alone? Digital rolls getting gripped in and slapped into the dirt. He is glitching around so much, he might as well be playing from Australia. And this time, instead of Kumabin going down, we have X Beyond. Absolutely insane match. Totally insane. Great game. Great game.
4 and 4 X Beyond and SP Shady. Great on the killing blows, by the way. Top damage goes to Kuma Bean, although it should have been top damage taken, probably. Here's the funny thing. OTF is a healer with 0 killing blows. Kuma Bean is a DPS with 0 killing blows. Digital Rolls is a healer with a touch of death, I think. Massive healing. Almost matched OTF and Digital Rolls. Big damage from X Beyond and Kuma Bean. I think that might be attributed to the cleave damage that is possible from DK. Stand by. We are getting the next set of teams set up. All right, ladies and gentlemen. 15 seconds predictions into the chat. Infusions 0 to 6. I don't know if that's good or bad. Infusions SP Shady and Uriel coming out the gates. Meanwhile, Zerk on the Mage. New player detected. Dragon Fu and Digital Rolls. Damage is hot. The burst is hotter. It's like the sun. SP Shady playing from the shade, but it's looking like he's burning bright on the damage chart. Uriel dropping to 50. Shady hiding behind the wall. Infusion's now able to line up the Ancestral Swiftness and get those health bars spiked back up again. Dragon Fruit eats the bubble. All teammates are inside the Cling Totem in the party Rage Cage. Song of GG gets blocked away. Digital Rolls trying to sustain health bars for our boys with the fat health bars. This is fat. Fatties versus the skins. Skinny health bars are looking nice. Not a lot of pressure. Zerk, however, and the fatties feeling the heat. Dragon Fruit diving in. Uriel gets stunned. Disintegrate comes off, and he chips away 50% of that health bar. Spikes back up again. Thank goodness for infusions and his healing. Not a lot in the way of a CC train that might lock this fight up. Digital Rolls playing from behind the pillar. Dragon Food dangerously low. 30 turns into 50. Digital at 10. Blinks away, and Dragon's at 10. Zerk hiding in the ice block, chilling out. What's going to happen? SP Shady sits inside the polymorph. He's turtling. Zerk might be the kill target here. He can't ice block for another I believe it's 10 seconds. Uriel not letting go. Digital Rolls hiding around the pillar. Gets feared. It might be Jover.
Dragon Fu from 50 to the 30 to the 50. It's tough to call. Uriel also dropping really low. SB Shady free casting in the back. Dragon Fu dropping down. That's from 20 to 10. 10 to 0.
Targets are being selected. How far can we zoom in here? How far can we zoom in here? Is it gonna make me throw up? New prediction from Mom Hips.
Here they come on the Swagmobiles. I think one of them is riding a whole ass water elemental. I'm sorry, did I see a slash wave in the middle of the fight? Dragon Fu silenced and locked in. DK Slappy Hands is a poor man's Rage Cage. Shaman getting blasted from the back is not responding too hot, and Dragon Fu just kind of free casts, does as he pleases. There is a lot of damage going in a lot of different directions here as Zerk, as the mage, is now free casting. This is dangerous stuff. Slides in for the CC onto digital rolls for 4 seconds. He can't do anything but turtle around. SB Shady might drop like a rock. 50 turns to 20. Health swap steals his teammate's health bar. Digital rolls forced to bubble himself. SB Shady still not getting a break from the focus. Digital rolls able to sustain the health bar, but now he's silenced, and SB Shady might drop a few more hit points. Actually, things are stable. Clever leg sweep breaks up the tempo, but another Pillar of Frost is coming through. Morsel's Winter looking hot and heavy. Or maybe chill and steady. Is there such a thing as an RKO in solo shuffle? I think that's if someone disconnects. If a priest does mind control, then it does make a disconnect possible. It's very cheesy. And Dragon Fu could not cheese the cheesers. This may not be for any prize money, but this is for bragging rights. Digital rolls with SP Shady and Zerk coming out the gate. Face it off against Uriel, Dragon Fu, and Infusions. And here we are, opening up with a deep breath. Would not get into a car with Dragon Fu after watching him drive that deep breath. Uriel down to 50, and Infusion's trying to keep the health bars tight. Oh, the Dragon's Breath breaks the tempo, and Uriel gets obliterated. Who was sleeping at the wheel in that one? SP Shady and Uriel coming out on the Lamborghini Kodo. Gets immediately stunned with a lasso, and it gets interrupted. Uriel now soaking a lot of damage. I think he switched to blood for this time, and the Rage Cage comes out and catches absolutely nothing. Nothing at all but a single healer, and he actually gets the knocked in. Ooh, but Zerk, ooh, clean with a 2% ice block. August 5th should be the next patch, and you can start grinding for stuff then. Zerk, Dragon Fu, and Infusions sitting pretty. Zerk able to sustain that health bar, but Uriel spiking up and down like he's doing jumping jacks. SB Shady getting the damage off. Tentacles everywhere. One of the fucking mirror images. Soaks one up. But now he's in turtle form. He can't do anything but turtle around. Dragon Fu's driving skills have vastly improved as he Tokyo drifts those deep breaths around the pillar. Okay, let's see what happens here. Is there a lineup or is there just raw Zug and raw damage that can blast through the rest of Uriel's HP bar? He spikes to 100 and SP Shady, I think, snatches it with the Void Shift, switching health bars. Infusions gets into the silence, into the paralysis, is locked up. Uriel getting helped by digital rolls, but Infusions is making this look easy. Is he doing more healing than the totems are? It's hard to say. Whatever Shaman is, I can't agree to say nerf it, but Dragon Fu getting assisted by Infusions, but dropping back down to 50. Is there something we're missing here? SP Shady is locked up. Is this all Uriel's damage? Unbelievable. Rage Cage comes down. The cleave is hot, but is it going to matter? The double caster composition here is just getting absolutely bullied, and Dragon Fu is practically the tank. Obsidian Scales comes out with a 30% wall, but then he touches the wall as he hovers and dashes backwards. Polymorph comes through again. Dragon Fu freezing his own health bar, but is it the wisest decision? What is happening here with no clear way to lock down and begin damaging? The cooldowns are the only thing that can open up a door to the win condition. Dragon Rage lets Dragon Fu rage on Uriel's health bar, dropping it low, but he gets the bubble from the monk. And Digital Rolls is trying to stabilize these health bars, but Dragon Rage can only last so long. And the pressure is gone. Infusions now being pressed back. Uriel, though, dropping low. Dragon Fu is landing these CCs, but he breaks the poly, and it makes the kill pressure almost go away. But Uriel is just sitting there at 10% and 60% dampening. Digital Rolls can't do it all for his teammates, and the DK gives it up. Teams have been shuffled, and Uriel with Digital Rolls and Dragon Fu. Once nemesis, once rivals, now teammates. Zerk with SP Shady and another double caster composition with a lot less mobility. Infusions might be able to pair well with this if they can do a lot of CC together. Polymorph is a very strong thing, as is Fear. They don't DR one another, which for the people at home who've never PvP before, it's diminishing returns. Uriel comes through. Slappy Hands is up, but he's getting fucking handled. What is going on here? Uriel is on top of Infusions, but is it costing him something? Rage Cage comes down and locks in Dragon Fu and Uriel together. Digital Roll is silenced. He can't heal. Oh, but the leg sweep comes through, but he gets denied the Song of Chi-Ji and ends up settling for the paralysis. Does he reattempt it? Uriel dropping low. Oh, 2% to 30. Who is doing this much healing? Digital Rolls is pulling out all the fucking stops to make sure that these health bars don't drop without him doing something about it. Dragon Fu trying to find an opening. Deep breaths in, then gets some distance. Tactical spacing. SP Shady is isolated and is the only target for Dragon Fu and drops from 100 to 70. Ooh. Uriel is really banking on his healer, as 10% could lead him to die, but there is the bubble from the monk, which is saving his ass cheeks. Infusions still sitting pretty. Health bar wise, everyone's mostly full. There's no one who can actually get snapped from 100% or even from 60 to 0. But there is a mage in play, so there is always a possibility that the burst just comes out of nowhere. And Uriel, please hold on. Come on, Uriel. Death strike something, brother. Digital Rolls committing to the Soothing Mist, but gets kicked by the mage. Eats a capacitor totem into the Dragon's Breath. What's going to happen to Uriel? He risks another Soothing Mist. Another Rage Cage comes through. A cheap Fear. Uriel is still alive, and Dragon Fu starts to eat some of the damage. Digital Rolls is really hating this double caster composition, as every time he goes to use Soothing Mist, he gets denied and denied again with the Silence Infusions. Might be the kill target, and it's just going back to back as the Spirit Link is actually dropping all the teammates' health bars. Backfiring. Uriel gets snapped from 20 to 0. Oh, fucking brutality. And that's why we watch. Please, someone clip that. And while you're clipping, like, favorite, and subscribe. New match kicking off in 15 with Uriel, Digital Rolls, and Zerk facing off against SP Shady and Dragon Fu with Infusions. Who is the favorite? Predictions in the chat. Digital Rolls trying to, you know what? Honestly, I would not blame Digital Rolls for playing more cautious. He's been bullied by the double caster composition, and now he's facing off against Dragon Fu and SP Shady again. Another double caster comp. He would never be given a chance to cast Soothing Mists. Icewall comes through. Is it clever? Yeah, it's C+. Welcome, Holly. Polymorph comes through. Dragon Fu broken out immediately. SP Shady might be getting focused. I don't know if Infusions can react if he's taking a nap instead of an ice wall. Nothing really happens from that CC train. Dragon Fu drops down a bit, but honestly, his health bar is really not going anywhere. Zerk sitting there, trying to look for an opening. Keeps making turtles. Discord flaming each other. Zerk at 60, which is a dangerous position to be in for a mage. Uriel dropping low and eats the bubble, but the mage gets absolutely trounced on. Breaks the bubble. No, he just mashed his spell, and he actually gets kicked early, so Premonition gives him some free casting, but he ends up in the stun anyways. It's absolute insanity. Fat ass fear. Huge meteor drops down on SP Shady, but only tickles him for about 10%. Crackling Jade Lightning drops him to 50, and SP Shady is looking like the kill target. And there he goes! Unfucking believable! 50 to 0 in just a second! Five rounds won by Zerk. Going to say MVP, maybe the mage. I'm not sure. SP Shady with the most damage completed and killing blows goes to Zerk as well. Do not sleep on mage, ladies and gentlemen. Although a lot of us may be fans of Hunter, mage can snap a health bar in half like a Kit Kat. And no, he's not sharing. He's not sharing any of the damage. Incredible. Massive performance, nearly identical here from Infusions TV and Digital Rolls. I have to say, huge shout out to Digital Rolls, going match after match after match, getting kicked repeatedly, but still hanging in the game and having a good mental and distributing his own CC. What a stellar player. Stayed in it, and even though he lost to Infusions in terms of rounds 1, Digital Rolls played with heart. Stand by while we set up the next match. Enjoy the tunes. We'll be right back. We are still forming up. We are almost ready. If anybody can hear me, if you're one of the 9 in chat, give me a sign. We good on audio? Is it balanced? Am I too loud? Is the music crappy? Is it too basic? 2012. Any? Perfect. Yes, sir. We are popping on some old school music. You might recognize this from a million different Swifty replays. I'm in your radio. And the next match is beginning. Remember, drop predictions in the chat so I can hit affiliate faster. Muted on Discord, yapping on Twitch. And here we go into round number 4. Angry Pickles, Dean and X Beyond on Team Garlic Bread versus Mom Hips, OTF, and Zerk on Team Spaghetti Nuts. If he sounds ridiculous, it's because I made him up on the spot. The match is about to open up. And here we are, deep into the fight with Mom Hips swinging that sword. Dean looking pretty, looking handsome. Angry Pickles standing behind the wall, invisible, undetectable like me in high school. Dean, somehow the tankiest MFer on the planet, doesn't need a healer. Pickles trying to break out of a CC, but should be enjoying a fucking advertisement. Unskippable cutscene that is CC life. Playing a healer. Shocker. Another CC gets laid out, but this time it's not on Pickles, as he's actually able to play the fucking game now. X Beyond dropping low. 30 could be 0 if Zerk lines up the right mage shot. And the icicles are fucking sharp. Mom Hips bubbling and spiking up to 100. X Beyond still low on 30. And Pickles trying to find a fucking response in his bag of tricks, but the deep breath, dragon breath, makes it hard to respond. Still, never giving up, never surrendering. Pickles comes in with the rep and slaps it onto nobody. A wasted GCD. Hand of Divinity giving him 2 instant cast Holy Lights, supercharged and for cheap. Hopefully, if Infusion of Light is active, it'll be even stronger. Dean now getting healed by the Avatar of the Sun. I lied. It's actually damage from Mom Hips. And the damage continues to come out fast and heavy. Might get kicked here, and Dean is not getting any help. X Beyond, Zerk, and OTF driving the match up against Dean, Mom Hips, and Angry Pickles. Come on, Pickles. Straight back into movie time. Angry Pickles enjoying the unskippable cutscene once again and can't break away. His teammates just allowing it to happen, realistically speaking, as we whiff the war stomp on top of Zerk. He blinks away and blinks back, dodges this searing glare, and misses the blind. Zerk now playing on the back foot because he has to respond with all this movement, but Dean getting clapped down to 10%, and I believe he health swaps with Pickles. Mom Hips getting absolutely ham-fisted, more than ham-blasted. But all the health bars return to 100%, and so everything's peachy clean. Who cares? Zerk sitting inside of the ice block, and Mass Dispel gets denied. Now Zerk is glitching all over the place. Call him the New Zealand lag wizard. Just kidding, he's just playing mage. Health bars are going all over the place. OTF gets repped on low HP. Smashes that self-heal button, but it might not be enough as a full stun just takes him out of the game. I'm sorry, is there a little crack in the... Alright, coming out the gate again. Zerk is actually on the same team as Pickles. We actually might see him play the game. I lied. Straight into the fear. Pickles getting bullied. He has no lunch money. He gets double teamed. Guys, leave Pickles alone. He ain't got enough money for milk at this point. Expion dropping low. 10% turns into 30, into 50 to 60. Zerk getting killed through ice block, kinda suspect. Maybe he got life swapped, I'm not sure. The massive damage cleave coming out from OTF. Moo, Mom Hips. Oh, Zerk no longer able to play the game as much as he'd like to before. His 10% snaps to 60. He's looking healthy. OTF now locked up in a fear, and X Beyond getting the spell block from Mom Hips. AMZ blocking a lot of the magic damage. The mage is scared. Popping up both their shields, trying to make something happen. OTF is now sitting on 50%. Come on, boy. Self-heal yourself, please. Something, anything. Pickles now enjoying the most freedom. Get it? He's had the entire match with freedom on himself and now blessing his teammates with his sweet holy hands. Pickles gripping onto that sarcophagus for the it's the only protection he used to have, past tense, but X Beyond is the one that pays the price for the match. X Beyond and Dean and OTF coming out the gate. Up against Mom Hips, Angry Pickles, and Zerk. And the damage is all over the place. I believe the match started 13 seconds ago, but I can't see anything really happening. Polymorph comes out onto OTF. Zerk not able to play the game, immediately has to go into ice block, and the players at large in this lobby are getting wise to his bullshit. Mom Hips searing glares into two players, and Zerk slips away. I can't keep track of him with the camera. OTF trying his best to keep the health bars alive. At this point, fucking Pickles needs to bubble something, brother. Pop a potion. Save yourself. Let Zerg handle it. He lays on hands the wrong player. Pickles is somehow still alive. It is a fucking Christmas miracle. And it's still July. Spell block goes over to Angry Pickles. The healer went from nearly no HP and is now full again. Repentance comes out and hits the Death Knight. Steadying in for all of 0.2 seconds as the Fear knocks 2 players into the fucking CC realm. Zerk feeling the heat. And please, for the love of God, Pickles. Every time I scream Pickles a little louder, he plays a bit better. I swear, he can hear me through the muted microphone and the monitor. Mom Hips now bubbling. Pickles making it happen. The health bars are fine, but it's just so stressful to watch. Pickles is not a preventative healer. He is a reaction healer. The only one who can actually prevent damage from taking place is OTF, but he's locked up in Turtle. Poor Pickles is right. Expion might be the kill target once again. He is like a lobster. Once you crack that crusty exterior, it's all soft and gushy on the inside. And to some solo shuffle players, free elo. Ultimate Penitence comes out, gets huge value for Dean. Come on, Pickles. And the lobster goes down. F's in chat for the crustacean. DK needs a buff. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Don't buff DK anymore. Predictions in chat. All right, this is for everybody. Predictions in the chat box. How many unskippable cutscenes, aka CC, does Pickles get locked into this next match? Pickles hiding from behind the tombstone gets 1 CC. Where's the second? OTF getting ham blasted. My God, the penance comes up, but was it kicked? Pain suppression keeps them open. Damage is prevented, but the health bars are kind of failing. OTF getting... Oh my God, the pressure from Expion is insane. Maybe he heard the stream earlier and took it fucking personal. The lobster's got claws! We're hitting a low, record low numbers of CCs. Oh, there it is. I spoke too soon. Pickles took 2 more. He needs 5 more. He needs 4 more to hit the record prediction for Dragon Fu. Buff Shaman. Oh, there's 4. Mom Hips and Expion syncing up their push onto OTF. Bat kick. CC number 5 on Pickles. Is there spam poly? Oh, but OTF gets knocked out by the silence, overlapped by the Hammer of Justice. Huge, big brain play. We countered it that time, and we ate 5 CCs on a Pickles. RIP Pickles got no more lunch money. You guys stop bullying him. Pickles might have won, but you ate a lot of CC. All right, OTF coming out the gate with Mom Hips and Dean. Straight to the sarcophagus. Somebody is... no one is actually stepping on top of it. We're actually preferring the tombstones at this point. The CC and... Slappy hands, possibly. We have OTF getting locked in with the silence already early on. Pocketing the Pillar of Frost, it looks like. Baby, it's not all right. As OTF gets locked behind the wall And honestly, there's next to no escape. Dean health swaps OTF immediately as line of sight is lined up. The health swap from OTF made it possible as she dropped to 10 and she's popping back to 100. Dean gets gripped from across the field, but doesn't matter if there's no kick for Void Torrent. Dean drops to 30 and slips into the dispersion, not getting hit anymore. OTF locked up in a turtle. Zerk, honestly spending a lot of time being mobile, but is he going to get the chance to free cast on anybody? X Beyond looking low, and Zerk is as well. Dragon's Breath is deep, but is it enough to actually set the tempo in the favor of Team Spaghetti Nuts? Fear onto X Beyond. It's broken. Dean's out of the stun. And somehow, some way, the match is over. And just like that, OTF, I think, takes the loss. Number one. Hold on. 5 rounds goes to Angry Pickles. I think that is a just reward because Pickles was bullied from the very first match all the way to the end. I've never seen someone stay so calm and not rage after spending enough time in CC to watch half of Avengers Endgame. Props to you, sir. Here's your medal for most calmest solo shuffle player. Massive healing from Angry Pickles made it look easy. 478 million damage out of X Beyond to 2 killing blows, matching Dean, who did slightly less damage, and Mom Hips as well with 2 killing blows. Absolutely goated. In an upsetting reveal, though, Zerk did not accept any credit for the killing blows, and perhaps did a surprising low performance as a mage. I think they spent a lot of time actually moving around too much. The free casting was just not there. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand by for the next round. My throat is being destroyed as we speak. I'm getting a cough drop. Be right back. Here we go. Infusions, Rye, and Dragon Fu. Stepping up against Pumpin' Chumps. Let's go. Leader of Mdga, Mega Make Elwyn great again. Paired up with Wall, Lay, and Auntie. Holy crap. Dragon Fu getting rinsed. Predictions in the chat box. Anybody who can hear me, we have 10 people lurking and 2 people chatting. And here we are. Match is open. God damn, Auntie is already lighting it up with all the gymnastics and flying into the battlefield. 50% goes to 40, 30, 10. There's so many healing cuts and grievous wounds happening right now. Pumpin' Chumps versus Auntie this time. The Blade Storm trying his darndest to protect him. The Die by the Sword is active. Wally with the Crackling Jade is not kicked. Completely open to being punked on right now. Gets feared instead. Infusion's finally finding the pressure that can make him squirm. Slips into doggo form. Holy fuckamoly. Cheese and crackers. Infusion's dropping to 10% and spiking to 90. How is this possible? Are his teammates actually peeling for him? Rye is actually forced to slip into bear form to respond to the pressure that's being put on him. Bear form is so troll. It's a DR that you can click at any time. Wally whiffing. Oh, almost whiffing. The 200 IQ Song of Chi-Ji. Meanwhile, Pumps is sitting there at 10% and his Infusion's able to respond to it. Instead, jumps him up to 30. Steps in the I-beam and woo, Pumps is the jumps. The global was mental. It was all mental. Mental global. Mental GZD. His fingers don't move like that. Oh my god. Louise, we're out of hamburgers. Okay, sorry I had to do that.
All right. Auntie stepping up out the gate. Flip, flap, flooping. Just flapping those demon wings. Please, someone make a petition for giving Soar to Demon Hunters. We're already sore of them being 3K rated at the peak of PvP. Haha, you guys don't have to laugh at that. Pumpin' Chumps dropping down to 30%. It's popped back up to 40 into 100. Infusions is making it look easy as the health bars are floating comfortably. He's sitting in the back free casting. Rylorn and Pumpin' Chumps cutting the healing from Dragon Fu, and it's just so oppressive. Auntie feels like a 3rd or 5th wheel even, but Rhyhorn is the one to fall. Jesus Christ! Remember, everybody, to thank your bus driver, wash your hands and your butt, and to fucking ban Demon Hunter from every tournament. Never let this class compete. Right next to Red Paladin. Auntie sliding into the DMs of every player. I don't think there's a health bar he hasn't hit yet. And I've learned something new today. The sap cannot block the fear. You can just overlap it. That is so strange. Dragon Fu feeling the heat, has 100% HP and a lot of security, turns into screaming at 40. I don't know how he gets any cast off against this double melee comp with sub 11 second interrupts. And they will not let him go. They will not let him go.
They will not let him go. Like a mom dragging a toddler out of target by the wrist, they will not let Dragon Fu go. The Rage Cage is dropped down by Infusions, locking in Dragon Fu, and I guess Wally wants to join the party. The Thunderstorm knocks everybody away. But Pump and Jumps is the one to get retaliated against and gets knocked out of the match. Flaming their healers in the chat now. Pumping, I believe someone said a big fuck you to Infusions. Infusions, Dragon Fu, and Anti up against Wally, Pump and Chumps, and Rye. I have to say, the Melee are stealing the spotlight. It is undeniable how much more fun it is to watch when there's not a mage teleporting everywhere. No shade to Zerk. Maybe a little bit. No shade. No shade. Here we see the pillar being used. Anti in demon form for another 4 seconds. Fat stun. Huge stun. Pump and Chumps is now dangerously low, around 30%. And given the current performance, 40% is not safe. If you're watching this at home, do not anticipate 40% ever feeling safe again. 40% HP is not the place to be, as Rye is dropping. Ooh, he actually spiked up and threw Feral Instincts. Survival Instincts is getting that 50% wall. I can't see anything from around this corner. Pump RP walking, and the Shades are aura maxing his presence. Leaps in. Infusion's not safe. Lock the door. Rye sitting in bear form and getting healed up by Wally. Almost gets the sickest jump. Wally teleports away from Anti, but Anti is not one to fuck with. He zip zap zoops right over. The Rage Cage is placed down by Infusions, locking in Rye and Pump. Dragon Fu sitting on the sideline, CC'd, and the Hex finally peels off of Wally. And he goes again for the jump and flops it. Dude, you are not Tony Hawk. Name change to Roni Rock because your skills are bricked. Huge stun. Anti not able to play the game. Dragon Fu dropping from 10. Spikes to 70. Infusion's doing everything. Pulling out all the stops here to make sure something resembling a win condition is brought up here. Rye is in bear and desperate for a heal. Wally can't get it back to 100%. Anti just slices up that bear. Oh. All right, here we see the teammates flying out the gate. Anti basically teleports. You can't even call that a dash. The Rage Cage is placed down by Infusions, and Pump and Wally are locked in. Dragon Fu. Holy moly, this group CC is insane. All teammates stacked up. Rye drops to 20, spikes to 80, and is probably going to drop back down to 20 if he gets even neglected for a second. Leg sweep comes through. Gets the precog on the Cyclone, but doesn't really land on anybody. Dragon Fu is the one that Wally needs to focus on and gets kicked from the sidelines by Infusions, the only shaman I've seen as a healer that knows where his wind shear button is. This is a sweaty match, ladies and gentlemen, and don't dispute that. They may call this a friendly guild competition, but I am seeing rank 1 strategies that should not be employed in your typical solo shuffle. Rylorn is now playing catch-up with that health bar, and instead of staying in bear form and switching all his talents to Guardian so he can actually play the game, he persists in Feral. Is he looking for a Cyclone, or is he looking for a quick massage? Because they're already working on
the paralysis with the acupuncture needles. He sits there AFK on the sides and finally gets the 4-second Cyclone off. But is there anything to follow up with it? Because Rye is the one who has to switch back to cat form and follow up. Pump is low at 50%, but Wally might just make that go away entirely. I think he's still pocketing. He has 15 seconds on the bubble. Wally's not been kicked yet. Pumps is getting lower and lower, but Rye is the one who gets turned on. Five rounds. 1 by Wally. 4 by Dragon. 4 by Auntie. Pump and Chumps picks up 2, and Rye... I'm sorry. Dragon Fu picks up 4. Auntie picks up 4. Pump and Chumps picks up 2, and Rylorn picks up 2. Infusions, as talented as a demon, as talented as a shaman he is, he actually gets rinsed. $577 and healing done from Wally, and very mildly gapped. Not even really much of a gap from infusions. Auntie's damage done is phenomenal, and this is a true gap. Pumps way behind, and all of the players don't compare. Demon Hunter at this rank is just so oppressive. When there is less than a battleground's worth of enemies, a Demon Hunter can just do so much and punish and punish and punish. And where are the breaks? Only if you could lock them up in Cyclone and truly prioritize the CC on the Demon Hunter. The true counter to Demon Hunter in the last 27 seconds that I have to talk about this is make sure the Demon Hunter is void of Adderall and has no monster energy drinks nearby. Once you've gotten that, half the win condition is complete. The last step, CC them until they have to log out and go visit the nearest 7-Eleven to restock. You cannot let the Demon Hunter play the game, and you cannot pull punches. You have to be the most unfair gameplay that you can possibly afford in order to make sure the Demon Hunter is shut down. Is that a big distraction from your win condition? Say you want to focus the healer? Maybe. It's a big commitment of resources. We're peaked out at 13 viewers. Please, 07, salute in chat if you've been having a great time. Drew Zach, thank you. Drew Zach's 07 indicates that 12 other people are having a shit time. Well, too bad, because we're going into round number 6. Uh-oh. Talks in the Discord of touching grass are becoming more prevalent. Stand by as we form up the next round. Enjoy the tunes or drop in the chat a link to some music you'd recommend for the next round.
cries of battle and the clash of your weapons will be heard by the great Loa.
She means the world to me.
And will join them in the
Oh, my bad. My Tyson, my little chicken nugget. My little chicken nugget Tyson. I'm sorry. Okay. Muting in Discord, live on Twitch. We got the links up in general chat. We'll see you over in the chat box. And the cat and the cat is out of the bag, and damage is rocking. Darkweaver, Zerk, and Pickles all on the same team now. We are begging for an ice block. Alter time is clean. And Willie is locked into turtle stance. Darkweaver now playing with dynamite, and Willie is locked out of the party with the ice wall that is up. Zerk is looking to land some damage on Mom Hips and Pump and Chumps, able to free cast on the side. No pressure on them. The Snowdrift comes through and gets some stuns down, but none of them seem to connect as the Meteor does. Darkweaver trying to play the game. Holy crap. Darkweaver gets the 1%. 1% ice block. Suddenly, Darkweaver, out of options, goes from 100% down to 20. Pump and Jumps is clearly going to charge and end the fight. I mean, what else can we expect here? Mages are made of glass, and not enough cannon, it appears, to actually win the game solo. Willie is back out of the turtle, whereas the healer Pickles is actually doing everything he darn can to make sure that the health bars are floating well. Pump and Jumps actually gets low enough to be in the kill zone, but it gets saved by Willie. Darkweaver blinking around. Angry Pickles sitting in CC again. Darkweaver gonna start taking some blessings of protection. Pump and Chumps might go down. Zerk blinks away with the alter time, saving his health bar. The ice wall making it tough. The second ice block comes through clutch. Pickles sitting at 50% as double melees are chopping away at his health bar like a lumberjack. Pickles, save yourself. Zerk, do something. Pickles, don't do it. Pickles drops low, and the first win goes to Pump, Hips, and Willie. Pump and Chumps soaring through the air like Superman, arms up, having a great time, trying to get a better angle here. Pump and Chumps now locked in at 50%, and Willie is the only one supporting Darkweaver and Chumps, but gets through the crack in the wall like an ant hungry for apples. I don't really know much about that. I don't own a home. Willie dropping low to 30. Is there something going on here that I'm not looking at proper? Or is there just an insane amount of damage coming from Mom, Hips, and Zerk? Honestly, it could be the mage. It's not hard to expect. The Blast Wave plays have been subpar, but the Ice Walls have been fun to watch. Lots of damage on the Mom Hips, dropping from 100 to 80. But is there anything that we can see that's going to show us what the win condition is? It's hard to predict right now. Willie is the one who's locked up in a Frost Nova, but she's honestly free casting on the side until she gets hammered with Justice and stunned. Darkweaver down to 50, dropping low. Gets spiked back up to 80 and still getting free casted on by Zerk. It's honestly surprising as the ice block and lay on hands combine to show that no one gives a damn about their cooldowns. Darkweaver back out again, fighting with Pump and Willie on their team as Mom Hips lined up with Pickles and Zerk are trying to find an opening for another kill. And it might be on Mom Hips, but these other lay on hands gets used in the match. Dragon's Breath comes through. It's short-lived, and that was a chump of a Blast Wave. Could have been clean, but it was not. Dark Weaver looking kind of low. 20% is nothing for a mage. Honest to God, 80% is nothing for a mage against a strong enough hunter or a melee player. Whoa, Pumps sitting in poly. Stun. Poly. Unskippable cutscenes. Can't break away or play the game. Mom Hips gets pushed to the edge, but no knockoff. Knockback for Dark Weaver, and health bars are stable-ish, but Mom Hips is the one that's feeling the pressure. Blessing and Protection comes through, but it's not going to do anything against Dark Weaver's damage. Blessing and Protection actually gets spell stolen, and Hips is the one that falls. Welcome to the chat, Frog. Love to have you. Whew, my God. Mom Hips and Pickles taking the high ground. Dark Weaver slow to catch up. Anakin, don't do it. Zerk, Hips, Pickles, Darkweaver, Chumps, Willy, everyone trying to fight for the high ground. Meanwhile, health bars are crashing to 50. The door is shut. There's only Pumps. There's only Darkweaver at the top of this ramp sitting in ice block. Clever girl. Hard use of resources here. Pickles cleanly gets out of the rep. Pumps just knocking down the health bar, teeing it up for Zerk. How far can I go? 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 Blizzard! Blizzard! And out the gate we go. Pumps dancing in the gate. Finally mounting up on his Spectral Tiger. Zerk now following up from behind the flank of the sentry. Eats the stun. Trinkets out. And is looking for the cheekiest of plays. Does he get the follow-up ice wall that locks out Pickles? Not quite. Mom Hips dangerously low. Zerk free casting in the back, which is such a dangerous thing. Again and again, we see it over and over. There is so many decisions being made moment to moment, and the mage is being left to free cast is not the brightest one. Oh, good grief. Pickles unable to right-click the wall to destroy it, which is a secret technique only known to certain BG players. There we go. Pickles breaks free. The overlap of CCs is a gut reaction to keep him away from the fight, but luckily he trinkets all of them and just steps up to the field and bringing Chumps and Hips back to full HP. Sits into the unskippable cutscene again. I can't enunciate, words are hard. Pumps is now dangerously low and gets spiked back up to 100% as Darkweaver and Willy gets locked in trinkets and breaks, and Darkweaver gets into the ice block in perfect time as 10% slowly grows to 20. Hips joins NASA, the new Azerothian space program, Space Association, whatever. Darkweaver feeling the pressure again. Pumping Chumps and Mom Hips, not letting go. Handcuffed to the win condition. A fat stun following up back to back. But does it connect? Bump and Chumps glitching in place. And only thing he manages to chain to the floor is the elemental. But in terms of plays being made here, Pickles gets walled off and stunned. There's a fear out to Willy. Repentance comes through and knocks nobody. Repentance, more like Bubble Hearth, because honest to God, nothing is coming through the wall. And Angry Pickles is furious as Mom Hips goes down. The Discord is going bananas. There's people who are furious. Dino Nuggies are being thrown down the hallway. And as we open up the gate, Angry Pickles is supporting Pump and Zerk. Mom Hips is being supported by Willie and also helping Dark Weaver in the composition. We see a lot of stuff happening. Zerk went from 100 to 60. Do we see them dropping to 50? Darkweaver is the first to drop. Blinks away from the charge. Repentance coming in from the back, but is actually canceled and ends up in a Hammer of Justice. Angry Pickles is now waiting for that to expire so we can play the game. Darkweaver blinking away a bit. Sits in the stun, actually. Zerk blocks off Willie, but only partially. I'm so confused. These ice walls need to be banned. Pickles is now locked in the alleyway like Bruce's parents, Martha Wayne, and his dad. On the side, can't get away from the villain known as Mom Hips. Somebody quickly look up Bruce Wayne's dad's name. I think it's Howard. I know his mom's name is Martha. Holy moly. The way that CC is getting off. These are castable CCs. These should be kicked. These should be kicked. If at the very least, they should be kicked. They should be looked to be denied. And honest to God, it is getting harder and harder to watch mages free cast in the back. I'm already in fiery tempers about healers being allowed to play the game without a lot of control because healers are just so powerful. But the second thing that really grinds my gears, honest to God, is watching mages and warlocks and priests, any caster, free cast in the back. Melee life is a struggle, but it's not something that we can't overcome. I see charge after charge after charge. Darkweaver dropping down to 10%. Is he about to fuck over his ultra time and drop back down to 10%? It looks like he cancels it. Zerk is the one that drops to 10 and ice blocks to respond. There is so much going on in the way to prevent these mages from winning. We need more slows. We need more interrupts. Pump and Chumps committing every charge to try and get something to connect. Mom Hips is now the target for all of 2 seconds as Darkweaver goes from 40 to 10. Massive stun. Pump and Chumps RP walking at this point based on the number of slows that are occurring. Angry Pickles supporting Pump and Chumps and Darkweaver. Willie supporting Zerk and Mom Hips. And the gates are open. And now for the first time, we've never seen this before. An entire match that takes place on the high ground. New and innovative techniques are being definitely not delivered. Pump and Chumps overcommitting. Drops to 50. Gets a lot of damage off. And the blind comes through. Zerk dropping down to 50. Again, the mages only have 2 tricks. Blink and do damage. Eat hot chip and ice block. That's all they know how to do. Oh, I lied. They also know polymorph. Angry Pickles, holy crap, 2% and spikes back up to 80. Pump and Chumps is trying to get something to work here. Oh my god, gets sent into the polymorph. It's nap time for Pump and Chumps. Oh, but he retaliates with a Stormbolt, stunning the mage, who blinks away after it's completed, question mark. Does he have Shimmer? There is active crying in the Discord as people are screaming at each other. Mom Hips low on 40%. Vengeance Shield is active. It will explode. Does not protect very much. And the health bar does actually manage to spike up a bit, meaning Willie is doing the Lord's work. Angry Pickles is forced to react and respond with a bubble. But instead of using the bubble to actually catch up on healing, he actually pulls it off. Random ice wall. The second ice wall. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Player housing has come to World of Warcraft early. All you need is 4 mages to make a box, because that's all the healers would like to live in after they get caged in time after time after time. You thought the Tinker class was coming early, or Void Demon Hunter? Nah. We got house building mages. And it's all made out of ice. Darkweaver at 40. Mom Hips looking squishy. The lay on hands goes to Zerk and the ice block responds, but Angry Pickles might be the one that falls. 10-2. Darkweaver at 1. Oh! The match is over. Up 5 rounds, Willie to Angry Pickles 1. 4 for Zerk and 4 for Pump and Jumps. Mom Hips and Darkweaver picking up 2. Pump and Jumps showing everybody that Warrior does pump. Mom Hips very close behind. Happy birthday, Druzak. Happy birthday. Can we get everybody to sing a very shitty happy birthday to Druzak on 3?
Oh my goodness.
Turning 42 today.
Everyone's gonna be on this is the most love I've ever. Wow. At everyone, happy birthday, Druzak. How sweet.
It's never actually Druzak's birthday. Oh, man. All right, everybody who's in chat, stand by. Holy moly. Let's get ourselves a new playlist here. And here it is. We are tweaking out. Fire Shard, Fwog, Toothless, fighting against Stood and Fire, Druzak, and Pally Pocket. The health bars are getting fucking mangled. As is all brand new players, first time competitors. Druzak is the only one who's fought before in today's matchup. Fire Shard looks like the kill target. Beast Mastery on Druzak. Might be cheating. There we go. Druzak deflecting hits. There's not enough dots to make him feel like there's any pressure. Pally Pocket recovering his health bar as Fwog. Ooh. Fwog on the field. Representing elemental shamans everywhere. Might be the chosen one. Thing is, people sleep on elemental shaman, but he's getting locked out of the fight again and again. Toothless trying to keep Fwog and Fire Shard in the fight, but Preservation Evoker's got the quirkiest of builds. A combo healer at short range. We'll see how it works. Stood and Fire's health bar is dropping fast, and Fwog is shut down, sadly. Druzak, Fire Shard, and Pally Pocket on the same team. Going up against Toothless, Fwog, and Stood and Fire. The gates will open. Nullifying Shroud will block 3 different CC attempts over the next 30 seconds on Toothless, giving him the protection he needs until it was immediately spell stolen by the mage, leaving Toothless open to being CC'd. Blinding Light comes through, blocking his attempt to heal anybody. Fire Shard, the first one to drop below 50. Lightning Bolt's coming up from Fwog, gets kicked. The burst damage is out of this world. Fwog is the one that I'm looking for to actually deal the most damage. Go, my brother, go. Huge meatballs flying across the screen. Stood and Fire cratering down to 2% before getting wiped out. There we have it. More damage coming out. Let's try and crash my computer real quick. There we are. Lots of damage. Stood and Fire, cratering down to 50. Recovers up to 80. Druzak actually making some play here with Fwog. Fire Shard not taking a lot of damage, although tons of meatballs are flying across. Fwog is the one getting focused down by double mage pressure. 1 arcane, 1 fire, it looks like. Is it enough? Toothless trying to get some kind of play going. 5 seconds on the sleep is interrupted. Toothless recovers Fwog's health bar. Fwog finally given the chance to free cast as Fire Shard drops lower and lower. Pally Pocket the one to respond as Druzak is now the one locked up in the Rage Cage. Fwog is just zapping everything like Mr. Palpatine Emperor. Please give them a break. What are you doing, Step Shaman, to Fire Shard's health bar? The shield is there. The health bar is not. Fwog trying to look for an opening here, only trying to weave through instant cast spells. Fire Burst comes out. Lightning Bolt almost kicked. X. Maybe connects to something. Toothless is trying his best to keep everything peachy keen and is rewinding so very much. The damage from the mages is insane, and shockingly, this match is still going. The double mage composition should have snapped something in half like the Frosty case that we were watching earlier, but it just keeps going. Toothless getting the nullifying shroud up again and might just get spell stolen. It only costs a little bit of mana for the mages to snatch it. Druzak playing Beast Mastery, but the mastery of it is seemingly missing. There's just so much in the way of kill pressure that it seems to be refuted by Pally Pocket. It feels like, honest to God, like Fwog and Druzak are fighting Pally more than they're actually fighting the mages. The mages' health bars should have been evaporated, and they've been rebuilt 6 times over. Druzak is dangerously low, and Toothless is the one who sits in the freeze trap against the mages for long enough that it just barely breaks the pacing of the match. Toothless paired up supporting Stood in Fire and Druzak. On the opposite side, Pally Pocket supporting Fwog and Fire Shard. And the gates will open. Looks like no one is hiding from anybody. Druzak opens up. Beast Mastery. Using Bestial Wrath. 10 seconds for his damage amp. But honestly, the freeze just shuts it down. And for the next 3 seconds, Druzak is looking to get some kind of value. Using the triple hippo technique once again. Finding a lot of damage on Fire Shard and Pally Pocket. But like we've seen before, Pally is just such a dominant healer that when it comes to these matches, it easily goes into dampening. Fire Shard trying to team up with Fwog here to find some kind of value, double teaming Stood in Fire. Druzak just clicking on whatever he can, and Toothless is not being denied his healing opportunities. There needs to be some kind of lineup here, like with the last match. That's what shut it down. Toothless sat inside the ice, and it looks like Druzak needs to respond with his own wall. There's the turtle, and Toothless is the one to keep him up. Pally Pocket sitting in a CC while Fire Shard eats the biscuit. A huge tab of damage connects to Fire Shard. Sitting in the polymorph, Pally can't respond. Is there an additional CC coming up? The precog is active, giving her a window to just free cast on her teammates. Strangely enough, it looks like Druzak is the one who might fall next, as Fwog and Fire Shard, almost lined up a kill. But Fire Shard is the one that gets knocked down by Stood in Fire and Fwog. Pally Pocket supporting Druzak and Fwog. Fire Shard paired up with Toothless and Stood in Fire. Double mage composition is already scary. And the gates will open. Stormkeeper comes up. Fwog looking for some kind of opener. Nails 10% of Fire Shard's HP. Stormkeeper's coming up. Fwog is looking dangerous. 100 becomes 50. And Toothless sustains the health bar. The mage is having to be forced into using their tricks for sustain. Fwog is laser focused and is doing his darndest to connect all the damage he can into Stood and Fire. I believe his master plan here is to try and bait out at least one ice block, if not just outright kill Stood and Fire. Stood and Fire is feeling the pressure and is just continuously having to burn through his tricks. Pally Pocket is the one who has to use Lay on Hands, and Stood and Fire again just never lets up. Fwog is obsessed. I don't think he's clicked on another health bar in this entire match. Did Stood and Fire fuck Fwog's girl, or is there a grudge that we don't know any lore about? Stood and Fire dropping to 50 and spiking back up to 90. Druzak trying to help Fwog the best he can, and Pally Pocket dropping stuns in places that it should matter. Toothless was knocked out for a brief moment, but now Stood and Fire again is just getting hard focused. Is this the win condition? Make one mage blink enough times and flinch until they F up and die? It could be very much that way. The first ice block comes out, and the sustain from Toothless gets that health bar back to 100, while Fwog is dancing around with Rocket Boots and Gust of Winds. Fire Shard is suddenly now Fwog's new obsession, but will he just switch back to Stood and Fire after the fact? Looks like he's hard stuck on Fire Shard, and Druzak is the one who's trying to keep his health bar up, but Pally Pocket, sadly, against the double mage composition, just dances around too much while her health bar drops to 0. Now we see Pally Pocket matching up with Stood and Fire and Fwog. Fire Shard, Druzak paired up with their healer, Toothless. Still opting in to use the very stealable. Oh, we whiff a polymorph. Not paying attention to the nullifying shroud. Druzak eating several meatballs. The damage is intense. But now the mages are going up against each other. Pally Pocket locking down Fire Shard and breaks out. Gets kicked on the side. Stood and Fire now isolating Fire Shard. And then blinks back. Toothless sitting in the polymorph. Can't do anything. Can't respond. Can't do a thing. Is now active once again. Druzak gets the Verdant Embrace. Fire Shard dropping dangerously low. And for a mage, yes, 60% is dangerously low. Don't at me. Good to see you, Quad Stack. Stood and Fire having to use the first ice block of the match, as Fire Shard sits in the Rage Cage with Toothless and Druzak. Fwog is a perfect arena controller. Gets his cooldowns up and he's ramping hard. Fwog just needs one more window mixed with Stood and Fire, and we might see damage tough enough to blast him. Pally Pocket sitting inside of the poly is just now stepping out to react to Stood and Fire's health bar. He gets it up to 50. Drops the twin. 10, 0. Four wins go to Druzak, and this is very strange. Stood and Fire with 4 wins. Fire Shard with 4 wins. 3 for Toothless, and 3 for Pocket. Fwog getting the fucking goose egg. And tragic, as one shaman to another, I was really hoping for him. 3 killing blows for Stood and Fire. Absolutely lethal. And Druzak with 2 as well. Don't sleep on Beastmaster Hunter. Druzak getting a lot of damage split across different players. 535. Gapping Fwogs 411 million. And see, this is tragic, where Fwog can pump so hard and get rewarded so little. But still, he fought with Spirit. The elemental spirits. Alright, viewers, stand by.
So tomorrow, 9 p.m., we have our MDGA, MDGA2, and Mega Guild War Games, Battleground War Games. So we'll randomize which battlegrounds we're gonna do, and go from there. It's a lot of fun. We should have a good group of guys and girls participate, and go from there. Yeah, it's always a good time.
MDGA.
Thanks, Mike.
Oh